If you have a visitor visa to Canada or if you're planning to get one, here is the good news. You can now change your visitor visa to a fully paid work visa while you're actually in Canada. How cool is that? Your work permit application must be submitted before February of 28th, 2025. In this video, I'm going to tell you the process of how you can get your work visa, the eligibility as mentioned by the Government of Canada, and finally a little bit on the cost as to how much you're expected to pay for all this. Let's do this together. Hi there, Dr. Rajiv Iyer here, bringing you more secrets on how you can be successful as an international medical graduate doctor in Canada. The first thing is, if you're planning to move as a visitor, even before going, plan for an observership in a hospital. I say this because once you go to Canada, it might be difficult to find an observership. But if you're already there, you can always look for opportunities where you can find an observership. When you get to Canada on your visitor visa, you do all your stuff that you're supposed to do, plus you go do your observership. Make sure you make connections with Canadian consultants. Just explain them how strong an applicant you are and try to look for paid jobs there. If you're a fresh graduate, you're most likely going to end up in a research job, but if you have already finished your residency from your home country, you might be looking at a paid clinical fellowship or even rarely a fully attending physician or a consultant physician job in Canada. I have seen this happen. If you want to know if you're eligible and the specific steps you need to take, you visit www.imgsecrets.com and book an appointment there. I will guide you with the exact steps you need to take so you become successful with your application. Once you know you have a job, you're going to apply for this job. You might have an interview. Once you're successful in the interview, you'll be given a job offer. This job offer may depend on labor market assessment. You as an IMG do not have to worry about this. The hospital who is hiring you can take care of this paperwork. From your end, the most critical aspect is finding a job. Once you find a job, you apply for a closed work permit. Now, Canada has extended the eligibility up to February 28th, 2025. They started this as a pilot program during COVID, but because of labor market shortages, they have extended this. So you as an IMG can make use of this opportunity so you get a paid job in Canada. Once you submit your application, you can expect to get a work permit within a span of 30 days. What used to happen before is, if at all you ended up finding a job, you had to leave Canada and then apply for a visa and then enter Canada. But now, everything can happen while you are staying in Canada on a visitor visa, so you don't have to leave Canada. Is this making sense how fantastic this is? If you have a spouse, your spouse will get what is called as open work permit, which in theory lets them work for pretty much any job. It's not easy to find a job, well, that's a different story, but at least they will be eligible to get an open work permit. The other fantastic thing about all this is if you're able to successfully get a job, you have an experience of 1 year, you can apply for permanent residency. In my opinion, this is the best way of getting permanent residency in Canada, and this is through the Canadian Experience Class. If you get a permanent residency in Canada, your spouse, your children, everybody will be eligible to get permanent residency, so you all can become Canadian PRs at the same time. Now the next question is, who is eligible to apply for this? Pretty much any IMG who is on a visitor visa and they have a legal visitor visa status on the day they're applying, you're good to apply. There is no age limit, which is great. People in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even older can apply through this pathway. The other eligibility criteria is obvious. In my opinion, which is the most critical, having a job offer. Once you have a job offer, everything else in the application falls into place. So make sure you go forward with a really strong job application. So you have to pre-plan this even before you go to Canada. So you get an observership, you know what to talk, how to talk and stuff like that. So you come up with a very strong applications. So we are here to help you, and you can always book an appointment at www.imgsecrets.com, where I can coach you with all this so you become successful. Finally, you must meet all the other general criteria for getting into Canada and getting a work visa, which means you've been a legal resident, you have the requisite credentials and experience in order for you to get that particular job. Is this making sense how all this works? Finally, the amount of money it costs for this application. It's approximately 155 Canadian dollars for the closed work permit and $100 for the open work permit. Of course, this is when I'm recording this. It is likely to change in the future, but I don't expect it to be a huge difference from what it is right now. The next obvious question is, where can you find these observerships? Well, there are 17 universities in Canada across all specialties where you can find these observerships. I have a video exactly made for this where I have explained the process of getting a paid job. In this case, you're looking for an observership, not for a paid job to begin with, and then you would transition to a paid job once you're in Canada. Any questions, post in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if you need to speak to me, you can always book an appointment on www.imgsecrets.com. Take care, stay safe. I will talk to you soon.